So Maya, just tell me a little bit about Robyx and where he came from.
So Robyx is a French racehorse. I actually ended up it was more of a happenstance, if you will. I was off riding with one of the best female horseball players, international horseball players, and she was looking for horses, and it just so happened that my previous horse had just been put down. So although I wasn't immediately looking, I knew that I was sort of looking for my next one. And we went off to France one day and tried a bunch of horses, and he was one of them. And she bought him anyway because she was looking for her junior kids, and she gave me first refusal on anything that we found, and I fell in love with him basically. He was very wild but very sweet and kind-natured. Yeah, he just had a lot of high energy, ready back from racing. He was only a month off the track when we went and saw him, so yeah, he was very, very much at the beginning of his retraining. We had a couple of issues mounting where he was very used to jockeys sort of being thrown up and then off they go, and he wanted to continue with that life, but obviously I am not as quick to get on, so we spent a lot of time just working on the mounting at first, trying to make sure he didn't gallop off with us. But, yeah.
So you mentioned that you had to work on mounting. What else did you have to work on first before you began schooling and stuff?
He was quite head shy, and obviously for horseball we need them to be quite stable and happy to have the ball and people throwing around their head. But that took quite a long time, and even I think up to 8 months of training with him twice a week, he was still not comfortable with the ball, and every time you sort of let go of the reins he would canter off. But it was just a matter of repetition, and every time just bringing him back and slowly, and then eventually one day it just clicked, and he's very happy to just walk around and have things thrown around his head, and he's not got any problems anymore. He's got a bit of an odd personality in that he can be very brave and very calm and very gentle, but he can also be very hot and a bit wild, and quite tense, and sometimes it's day to day, but we've just spent a long time working on making sure that he can come back when he is feeling that way, and just having the trust in me and the trust in him so that he can just calm and relax and do the job that he's being asked to do.
When he first came, did you have to work on the schooling straight away, or did you hack at first just to get him used to being somewhere else?
He was, as I said, because he was quite difficult to mount, I didn't hack him for about 4 months until it was very much just the schooling, but I enjoy that process, that part of it. The hacking was definitely something that came later because, like I said, he can be quite nervous and skittish, and without having the control to stop him when he does go off, there was no way I was going to take him out in case that happened on a road, and then it's putting him at risk. But yeah, no, it was a lot of mainly schooling, but it was very sort of working on relaxing and nothing very complex at first. It was just a little bit of walk, trot, canter transitions, and trying to make sure that they're happening calmly and nicely and as harmoniously as possible. But it has taken a long time now, because he was 5 when we got him and he's 9 now, and he's still can be a little bit tense about his ridden work. But yeah. When
you first got him then, I can imagine that you were already quite up in horseball. What was that like, kind of going back to basics with a horse? Was that quite a long process to get him up to your level?
Yeah, well, I was quite, in a way, lucky in that my previous horse I'd had her from 3, and she ended up having a poor navicular diagnosis when she was 5, so she was still quite young and still very much in the needing to be trained up stage. So it's almost like I went from one 5-year-old to another 5-year-old. And it was also around about the time that I'd only just started playing internationally as well, so there was a lot of growth for us both to make. I wish I was the rider I am now. When I first got him, I would have been able to move things on a lot faster, but in a way we've sort of learnt together, and he definitely allowed me to progress and up my game massively from what I was and where I am now.
So a lot of people, when they look at racehorses on the racetrack, their first sort of thought is, oh my goodness, how would you be able to handle that? But they're now looking at Robyx. He's very quiet and very gentle. Was there quite a long transition period to get him calmer?
Under saddle, it was, but that is not the case for all the racehorses that we are at. They're nearly all racehorses. I think that was just his specific personality. It's also what I liked about him, so I knew that that's what I was going into and it's what I wanted. First time we brought him back in Belgium, he galloped me around for 20 minutes and I was like, fantastic, this is what I want, because I never felt unsafe. He never goes to buck or rear or bronc. It's just, I would like to go fast because that's all I know how to do. And so there are elements that have been hard, but then there's stuff that's been so easy. His handling has never been an issue. He's never had an issue hacking. He's always quite happy to plod along with the other horses. Even here, the whole time we've been here, there's been building work done on this yard. He has no issues with any of the machinery or the busyness of it, and it's just everything that's happened he's just taken very much in his stride, and it's never been a problem. It's just the odd exercise that involves like collection or, you know, really pushing that dressage type of work he finds difficult, and that's more because of his conformation and how he learns than because of his previous career, definitely.
What would you say his favourite thing is to do?
His favourite, he really does enjoy his horseball job. He loves galloping up and down the pitch. He loves a good hack, a good gallop hack. Just anything that he can sort of exert his energy and really go for it. But yeah, he definitely loves horseball, and he's a very good horse on the pitch, definitely.
So after COVID, what's next for Robyx, you and Horseball?
Well, hopefully we can start playing again soon. What has been nice is I've really been able to focus on my schooling and my dressage, which is they're both very important for my sport. And I've seen a huge change in the last year and a half where he's just almost completely different to school and ride, because I've been able to really put the work and the effort in. And in a way it's been quite good not having the constant matches to train up for, but we are ready to definitely kick off again, and we were very upset that the World Cup got cancelled twice now. But next will be getting back into the British League and then securing our place on the international squad next year for the World Cup that's happening in France.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's in France?
It's in France.
So how many places have you travelled with Robyx?
We have been to France many times. We go, normally we go once a year for a competition in Chambly. That's just a friendly. He's been to Belgium and he's been to Portugal so far. Yeah, we'd love to take him to a lot of small places, but you know, it's wherever there's a competition we try and go.
So if someone wanted to get an ex-racehorse to retrain and have as their own, what advice would you give them?
I think the biggest thing is to really be honest with yourself about your ability and what you want from your horse. I think lots of people are nervous about racehorses because there's a perception that they're hot and scary and that they're naughty, but a lot of the time they're just big dopes on a rope, to be honest. They can always have their quirks, but it's just about really understanding that this is not the thing that what you're trying to ask them to do is not the thing that they've been told that they have to do for the rest from the time they're born up until the time they retire. And sometimes they just take a little bit of extra time and a little bit of extra love, and yeah, they make the best horses and they can turn their hoof to anything, absolutely anything, and I believe that through and through. And they're some of the best and most kind-natured horses you can find. and just really just be patient, I think, is the main thing. Be patient with them, because they can always surprise you. Definitely.
And lastly, what help do the ROR offer you if you are retraining a racehorse?
I think what's really good with the ROR is they do lots of ROR competitions, which are obviously exclusively for ROR horses. Unfortunately, there isn't a Horseball one at the moment, but hopefully one sometime in the future. And that can really be good because they understand that there is there's a process to it, and no one makes fun of people who are bringing their racehorse that's only been off the track for a couple of months and wants to try and do something, because that's the whole point of them, is giving them another chance. And the ROR have been always very kind in sponsoring our international teams as well. We always get a little bit of help to get to wherever our competitions are, which is always very, very much appreciated, because they can be very expensive. But yeah, they're such a good charity, and everyone should try and contact or get a racehorse. They're wonderful horses.
He is, he's lovely. Thank you so much.